Ready, 3, 2. Welcome to Pod. This is Pierre, your host, and today I got
Eli.
Well, Eli is my barber, as some of us may know. And if y'all don't know, well, if every time I look fresh, it's because of this man right here. He always takes care of me, so I'm really grateful for that, so I appreciate you. Well, we brought him today to the podcast to talk about barber school, becoming a barber, or just in general when it comes to haircuts. So, well, first of all, let me start with how did you start? What made you start?
I really just kind of picked it up on my own. It was like, I don't know, it just kind of happened, to be honest. Like when COVID happened.
You just started cutting your own hair?
Yeah, I started with myself, and 'cause I got an older brother too, so I would be like cutting up him and my brother, cutting up me and my brother, and yeah.
And you just dragged it to where you are now?
Pretty much, yeah, just.
So when you used to get, haircuts before the pandemic, did you ever think of how before you used to get fades, when you start cutting your own hair, did you like search up how to do fades, or did you just like knew like military type of haircuts during COVID?
Like before I started cutting myself,
Mm-hmm.
I would like watch a lot of YouTube videos, like
Really?
360 Jeezy.
Oh yeah, that's the man. I think everybody watched him during the pandemic.
And, so I guess that's also kind of like how I started getting into it. It was like I was just watching those videos. I was like, this looks kind of fun. I want to try this,
So you were into becoming a barber before the pandemic happened, or after, like, or during?
It was like during.
Oh, okay,
okay.
During. So what did you want to do before the pandemic?
I wanted to do sports medicine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like becoming an athletic trainer?
Yeah, that's what I wanted to do exactly. Was be like a trainer. But I don't know. I'm not really like school's not really my thing too much. You know what I mean? So
you could have gotten scholarships though, because I know you were athletic.
Yeah, that was also like another plan, was like doing track, but I started cutting hair, and so it kind of just took its route.
Cutting hair. So I remember the first time. I have a funny story to tell actually. When I went to get a haircut, I remember the first time you were charging only $5, and I remember one of my friends, Bernard, was like, "Yo, Eli's cutting. He's cutting for $5. Anybody can go get it." So I remember getting a haircut, and then when I was getting a haircut, I was like, "Yo, why you charge only like $5? Like, increase that shit, like put it at 10, put it at 15."
Yeah.
And he was like, "You sure?" He's like, "Yeah." So he increased it to 10, and then when I went back to class the next day, Brennan was like, "Man, you already increased it to $10 or something." And I was like, "Yeah, I told him." I was like, "Man, come on, man." He's like, "Bro, what'd you do?" I'm like, "Come on, bro, you can't be that broke. It's only like $5 more."
So yeah, my thought process with that was kind of like, I was just starting out. I knew my haircuts weren't that good. And, everybody has $5. I was like, just
So
set it
like
at $5. Just
Dang, so you were working for $5.
Yeah.
Damn.
Because I didn't want to be doing haircuts for free.
That's true. Yeah, you don't want to do haircuts for free.
$5.
So $5.
Yeah.
So we were basically like mini keys. Is that what you guys call it?
Yeah, like testing.
You testing
the waters.
But it ended up being good.
It worked out.
I'll put a picture right now of how one of our haircuts went.
Oh yeah, I got pictures of all of them.
So but there was one haircut that we specifically did not like. Do you remember that haircut?
Yeah, I remember that haircut.
Well, I'm gonna put up the picture, and if I have the video, I'll put up the video too, because that was really funny. But honestly, I didn't care that much. We fixed it at the end of the day.
Yeah, I fixed
but
it.
Tell us your thought process. What happened in that moment?
When it happened?
Yeah.
Okay, so I was doing it's this technique. It's called clipper over comb, and it's basically like you're creating shape. And so I was doing that, and I was just getting really comfortable, and I guess I got too comfortable. And what happened was I missed the comb, and the clipper just went straight to the side of his head, and I gave him like a bald patch. And right when that happened, I was like I don't even know what to do. I just I started shaking. I got nervous. I was like, damn, I gotta tell him.
So you just kept cutting?
Yeah, I kept cutting because I was trying to I kept cutting while I was like trying to figure out what I was gonna do.
You were just trying to fake me out.
And so in my head I'm thinking like I gotta tell him at some point. And so I eventually was like, what did I say?
He said, "Yo, Pierre." He said, "Yo, Pierre." I go. Yo, what's wrong? Like, why you react that way? I miss you up. And I was like, "Bro, what?" And then he showed me, and I was like, "Damn, it's okay." I was like, "It's okay, we'll go figure it out."
So we just had a razor fade.
It's so funny because we edited and we posted it on your on your Instagram, and it's like you can see the different quality videos because we switched phones. It was so funny.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
I was just I was just like, oh well. But nah, it was just so funny because you never know what can happen. Imagine you did that to a random person.
That's like my worst fear. It's never happened. That was the only time that happened was like with you.
So you could say that was like the worst haircut you ever had? What about, because that happened when he was cutting at his house.
Yeah, that was in my garage.
So if y'all don't know, he started from the grind, you know. He's been grinding since then. But now he cuts at
Master Phase Barbershop.
So Master Phase Barbershop, located in El Mirage. It's pretty cool. So what can you say? How did you get to Master Phase? What made you apply at that barbershop? Like, tell us the story of how it happened.
Okay, so this was also like during the time when I was wanting to go to school, like, to get my license. And so what ended up happening was, like I said, my original plan was to go to school, and then it would have been like 9 months. So I was gonna go to school, get my license, and then that was actually the shop that I had wanted to work at. But so what happened was, while I was in my garage, I saw that they were hiring, and I knew that they did like apprenticeships.
Okay.
And so I ended up just texting the manager. I was like, I just kind of introduced myself, tell him like what I was doing, and I ended up going in for an interview. And that was like the easiest interview that I've ever done, to be honest, for a job.
Really?
It was literally like 5 minutes. Yeah, we just talked, showed him some haircuts.
What did they ask you though? Like,
it was just like, he was just like, how long have you been cutting for? Like, you want to take this serious, this and that. And I was just like, yeah, this is what I want to do.
it ended up being perfect. Now you're there.
I asked to see some pictures, showed him my Instagram, and then like 2 weeks later, I got a text. He was literally the text was just like, bring your clippers.
Oh,
come to the shop. Yeah, and it was that easy. So.
And did you have to do like a test?
No test or nothing.
No, nothing.
Yeah,
Just
literally that day that he told me to bring my clippers, I brought my bag, and I just set everything up, and I started cutting hair that day at the shop.
Really?
So, yeah.
And then after that, what happened? They just told you your schedule, or did they figure out?
Yeah. So at first it was like a little 30-month trial thing, like to see if they wanted to keep me.
Yeah.
And so after that, they got everything set up with the apprenticeship, and now I'm just working to get my license.
Oh, that's good. That's good. What's it called? So explain to us how it works when it comes to, obviously, we don't really want to know how much you get paid or anything, but I do want to know how it comes out on the balance. Like, do you have to pay for the chair? Do you have to rent the chair? Do you have to pay for being part of a barbershop?
Yeah.
So how does that work?
So
for the people that obviously want to get into.
So there's like two main ways that they really do it. It's a commission and a booth rent. And so with booth rent, what usually happens is it's like a fixed rate, right? So you'll pay like $200 every week, and they collect that like at the end of every month. So it comes out to like $800. And so what that is good for is if you have like clientele already, because you really make that in like the first couple of days, whatever, and then the rest of the month is just straight profit. And then so how it is at my shop is it's commission. And so there's a percentage of every haircut. So like a percentage of every haircut gets taken out, and then everything's already subtracted and all that, and I make what I make.
So you know how much you're basically getting a week, because if you work at Walmart, you go for the hours that you get paid. But with barbers, you really don't know that much, because you could have a busy week and then you could have a slow week. So how do you calculate how much you can make in a week?
Off the haircuts, how many haircuts you do? Yeah. So pretty much like if I don't cut hair, I don't make money. You know what I mean? So that's obviously you want to be as busy as you can, but just however many haircuts you do in a week, you could just do the percentage and find out
how much you can get of that.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good. Well, now moving into the fun part, I guess. What's the favorite haircut you like doing? What favorite fade do you like doing?
Honestly, I think shadow fades. Those are like my favorite.
Shadow fades.
I don't really do them too much, but basically it's like the way I do mine. It's basically like I'll do like a one fade pretty much, and then just taper it, and then that's really it, to be honest. But I don't know. I just like the way they look.
Is it like a taper type of thing?
It's a mix between like a taper and a fade. So it's like a fade with the one, and then you taper into it.
Oh, okay. Okay. I usually get the mid fade, but we both know already. what's it called? That's cool. That's cool. Now I want to know your worst experience in the barbershop. What has been the worst experience you ever had to deal with?
Okay, so this actually didn't happen to me, but I was like, I guess kind of a part of it. But so what happened was, there was this dude cutting, you know, it was just like a regular service. He was just cutting the guy's hair, and he actually ended up passing out, the guy in the chair. Yeah, so I really didn't see too much happen because, to be honest, I was like, you know, I was focused on my haircut.
Right.
But literally, so from my point of view, what happened was I was just cutting hair. And then I finished up my haircut, whatever, and I look up and there's like 8 paramedics in the shop. Like I didn't see any of them come in. I swear to God, I was cutting right next to the door too, and I didn't see any of them. So I guess what happened was, like I said, the dude just passed out. I don't know what happened, but so they called the fire department. The fire truck comes, you know, the paramedics all coming. I didn't see any of it happen.
You didn't wake up?
No, he ended up waking back up. But I don't. That was like the craziest thing.
The fresh haircut or no?
Oh yeah, he finished. Yeah.
I would have done too. I would have been like, I mean, he passed out, but I gotta make sure I figure out the cut, you know? So they took him, or did he stay there?
No, he stayed in the chair.
He was
They just like
like,
took all of his
right.
vitals and all that, you know what I mean? And then they left. That was
Yeah, I just can't imagine. I can imagine just paramedics treating you and like still getting haircut.
Yeah.
That's
pretty weird.
That's some king shit. That's some king shit. You know, I don't wish that on me, but if I ever pass out, I better be on your chair so I can keep getting my haircut. That's crazy.
That's crazy. And I don't know if this really matters when you're a barber, but what type of hair is it easier for you to cut? Do you think it's like fully straight, a little fluffy? Do you think curly?
Like in my opinion,
In your opinion.
I would say like it's called coarse hair, but like black people.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Afro type of thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just I don't know. Their hair just blends easier, I guess.
On the fades.
Yeah.
I truly
It
think
comes
so.
out looking good.
I think it lasts longer too. By that, I'm like, dang. I wish my hair looked like that after 4 days. But dang,
So
that's
I would
nice.
say coarse hair. It's definitely the easiest to cut. In my opinion.
That's nice. That's nice. See, it's not a lot of traffic. And that's why I can leave my house at 4:45 and still make it to the haircut appointment on time. You know what it is. So also, Barbara, quick question: do you like appointments or walk-ins?
I prefer appointments.
Really?
Yeah, just because you know when you have a clientele and you're taking appointments, you know what you're cutting. You know what I mean? And so it's like you get more familiar with their hair, you get comfortable with it. You know, every barber kind of knows this. Like the first haircut you do on somebody, it's like it's always gonna get better. You know what I mean? Like, you always kind of notice little things like, oh, I could have done this better. I could have did that, or like this would have looked better. And so it's like you make like kind of like mental notes, and then the next time you see that person,
You're like, okay.
yeah, you know what to do.
So you're like, I basically fucked you up last time?
Not like that.
Have you ever had that type of thought though? Like you ever? I want to know somebody. You ever mess up somebody, and then they come back to your chair, and you be like, damn, he gave you another chance other than me. I'm just kidding.
I wouldn't say necessarily like I messed them up,
But not like friends, you know, somebody from like the bar.
yeah, nah. I wouldn't say I've had that thought and like where I told myself like I messed them up, but it was just like I said, like I know what I could do better now. You know what I mean?
Makes sense.
Yeah.
What's it called? So when you start cutting hair, you basically knew you were doing it right, but now that you're really good at it, do you like look back in time and be like, damn, I really used to think this was like crispy or good, or I thought I was doing something back then. Like,
Yeah, no, all the time. And honestly, I think the reason why is because like what I've noticed is with myself is like I'm always changing something up. Like the way I cut hair or just like the way I do things, it's always different. And so like I'll kind of like compare it like to what I was doing back then, and it's like some of it's kind of like, damn, why was I doing that? Like that doesn't really make sense. You know what I mean?
mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think that's a constant thing. Like I feel like that's something that like I'll always be doing is like looking back and just kind of like learning from my past experiences. You know what I mean?
That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
And what about equipment? Do you believe that equipment really matters when it comes to cutting hair? Do you
Oh,
think?
most definitely.
Really?
Yeah.
So
I didn't
something
really let you finish. My bad.
No, you're good. You're good. So something expensive compared to something cheap, like you can really see the difference.
Yeah, I would say that just because, yes and no, actually, because I mean, clippers are still clippers at the end of the day. You know what I mean? Like you're still gonna be able to do a fade. It's just there's a lot of like little things like for example, like they come with different blades. And so like one blade would be better for doing one thing, and then you know what I mean. And so
One for taper, one for fade.
I went through this like I was like the question you just asked, how you said like doing things different. Like I went through this phase where I had like a whole bunch of clippers. Now I use like 8 clippers for one haircut.
I remember that.
And now I use like I would say I use like 3. I feel like I need at least 2 like to really feel comfortable. But so yeah, that's just kind of where I'm at right now.
Wait, why not one? Why do you have to use two?
Just because, like I said, the different blades and like some clippers are stronger, so like I'll use them like to debulk, and then I'll use one clipper for fading, that type of thing. Yeah.
And comparing your arsenal now that you have your equipment, do you believe you upgraded from what you had back then?
I wouldn't really say so because I'm still kind of using like the same stuff to be honest, but it's just I got more familiar with it, I guess, and like learn how to really use it like to its like full potential.
So if you were, if a barber was to, a new barber, let's say a person that wants to be a barber, come up to you and ask you, what should I get? Or what type of equipment should I start with? What would you recommend them?
Like clippers?
Yeah.
I would say, I always tell people, because that's actually happened a good amount of times. I always tell them to start with some magic clips.
Magic clips.
Yeah, because those are, like, I don't really use them anymore, but those were like a clipper that I would always like find myself going back to. And because they're cheap and they just work really good. Like, that's like a solid first clipper. That's what I used. Like my first cordless clipper, it was a magic clip. But I would recommend one of those for sure for a clipper. And for a trimmer, I would say a Barber's. Yeah. Just because, I don't know, that's what I started with, and I'm still using it to this day. The same one, too, honestly. So,
Still cracking me up with that. So, once again, coming to new barbers, how much money do you think they should invest in themselves when it comes to haircut? Is it, because it's not cheap, right? It's not cheap to start with, start up, and more if you're starting at your house. You gotta think about the chair, you gotta think about the mirrors, and also the comb, clippers. So how much do you think a new barber should spend? Well, not spend, I would say invest in themselves before starting.
I guess that really just kind of depends on like how nice of stuff you want to get. But like I said, the magic clips and the Barber's, that's probably like $200-300 right there. And to get like a solid chair, that's probably another like $300, honestly. So that's your chair and your clippers, and you're also gonna need you need some shears, cable. Like the list honestly goes on.
Yeah.
But so I would say you're probably gonna spend around like $1,000 like to really get into it.
The basic stuff.
Just to get your foundation.
Oof.
Yeah. So it's definitely something that it's not cheap.
It's not.
But they say it takes money to make money. You know what I mean? So
Facts.
like you said, it's an investment.
Facts. That's good. So going back, do you believe being a barber right now, it's a good career-wise for people to go for? Do you think a lot of people should go into it, or is there,
I think so, but it just kind of depends on like the kind of lifestyle you want to have as well, because especially when you're first starting out, it's long hours, you know what I mean?
Definitely.
So it's just like if you're going to be really dedicated to it, I think it could really pay off, once you get to where you want to be at. But I would say, yeah, for the most part, it's been good so far.
So, as a barber, it opens up a lot to not just only, being a barber, but also to business. Do you see yourself owning a barbershop in the future? Do you see yourself, collabing or even, being barber of Lil Baby or something like that,
See, I've thought about that. I'm still kind of on the fence with like the owning a shop thing, but what I really want to do is have like a personal studio. I've always kind of said that because what I really liked about when I was cutting in my garage versus like now in the shop is just like the privacy, I guess. And so how it's really just like you and your client versus when you're in the shop, you have all the other barbers, there's like loud music, and it's just, there's a lot going on. And so like when it's just, you're in your own space, it's a lot more comfortable, like for me at least.
No, yeah, I do remember, when we bought Popeyes and we were cutting my hair, and I was with Kevin, Ethan, me, So, you know, it was pretty good. We just had a cherry. We were just vibing, putting J. Cole, you know, eating. I mean, we had that chance.
Exactly.
We had,
so that's what you kind of miss when you're cutting hair in the shop. You know what I mean? Just because.
I think.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I think, so if you had the choice right now to go back to the garage with the clients that you have, would you work in the garage?
Oh, yeah.
You would instead of a barbershop?
Thinking back on it, actually, no.
No, because that AZ.
Yeah, just because of the heat, to be honest. I got like, oh my god, it got bad in the summertime.
Yeah.
I got lucky because I was cutting hair in my garage through like, I started in, I want to say October, and I really ended in like June. And so like I ended back when it was getting hot.
Yeah.
But if I would have had to keep cutting like through the summertime with that heat,
Dude, it sucks. Now that, I mean, now that we have the confidence and everything, it sucked that. I mean, not outside the balcony, but you know, in the porch it was good because it wasn't hot.
But if I had AC, like, most definitely, I would definitely go back to the garage.
Easier, you know, and you wouldn't have to pay for a chair or anything.
Yeah.
So on your day, how many haircuts can you get on a day? On a good day?
The most I've ever done in a day was, I want to say 12. And that was like a really busy day. Like I was literally, I didn't take a lunch. I was cutting hair from open to close.
It's like 12 hours, right? How much do you think a haircut is around? Like 45 minutes to an hour?
It depends on what you want, but usually like 45 minutes. That's about how long it takes me.
What about the fastest?
The fastest haircut I've ever done?
Yeah.
I want to say,
There's no way one guy just walked in and said, I want a line up.
so it was like a 2 on top and like a high fade, so it's like a super easy cut. And I think I got that done in like 15 minutes. Yeah, so it wasn't bad.
Same price. It don't matter about the time.
Yeah.
That's crazy. And what about the longest? Other than me, because I know I'm
Oh,
complicated.
yeah. No, when I was first starting, my haircuts were like 2 hours.
Nah, dude. I remember
So that was definitely.
we were in your chair. I mean, I was in your chair.
On the stool too. There was no backrest.
My back hurt really bad. At that time, my back was hurting so bad. But it was alright though. Like, we had to support you, you know?
Yeah.
It wasn't $10 haircuts. Come on, you can survive.
You got what you paid for.
I mean, yeah, you're right. It was a couple, but when the heat came in, it was just hard. I was just like, it wasn't that it was sweating. I mean, I didn't care that much, but the problem was that, you know, you got sweaty and then the hair, so it started becoming itchy.
Oh,
so
yeah.
you're just
Yeah,
under the carpet, and I was like, but you know, it was good though. I mean, your pops was just working on the garage. I was just like, what's up? You know, we had conversations. Hey, do you guys still have that popcorn? I would have ate that.
I don't know where that thing is.
I always wanted to try it. But yeah, so going back to barber stuff, where do you see yourself in like 5 years?
In 5 years, I would say definitely in a studio.
In the studio?
Yeah.
So you're not seeing your barbershop anymore as a long term?
Yeah, this is like the first step, you know what I mean? So like I got my little plan, and this is just like, because this is just me getting my license like in this phase right now. So once I have my license, probably end up in like one more shop, and then it'll be on to the studio after that, hopefully.
It better be around my corner because I'm not trying to drive 30 minutes. You know, last time I had a haircut from another person was literally like 2020. Yeah, February 2020. So I can't let you go, man. Like,
Yeah.
I just don't know how awkward it could be. I don't think it would be awkward.
Start.
Yeah, like I can't do that. Like, how do I explain to my hair? Because I suck at it, but you already know.
Yeah, you don't even really.
I'm a
No, it's like you don't even really ask.
He's. I just tell him to do it. He does it, you know. I just be like, hey, my 2 slits on the eyebrow, you know, get the mid fade, you know, get to the sign on the left side. That's just too much. I don't think anybody could handle that. So I don't need you to go anywhere else, okay? Or at least less than 30 minutes. I'm not trying to try. Be reasonable, my guys. So yeah, 5 years, you know, studio. Do you think? What would you have in your studio? Other than obviously your clippers and stuff like. What would you put in your studio?
What am I putting in the studio?
Yeah.
I would say definitely need a towel warmer for the hot
Okay.
towel. Put like a little TV in there.
Okay.
That's some music.
Jekyll, right?
Yeah, most definitely. Probably get like a little mini fridge. You know, you
Yeah.
gotta have the drinks.
Definitely.
Gotta have the drinks.
I think that's on
That's
top,
about
yeah.
it, to be honest.
Yeah, you don't really need that
You
much.
just gotta keep it simple.
Obviously your chair, but you know, that's
Yeah.
something. But then again, you know,
A little
that's-
couch.
You don't have one like this?
Okay, something like that, yeah.
We'll bring the Popeyes on trip. And where do you want to own it? Does it matter, or do you want to have it close to the city? Do you want to have it close to the suburbs?
Where would I want it?
Yeah.
I would probably say somewhere in the city.
Like in a penthouse?
Nah, somewhere in the city, most definitely, because that's where you're gonna get like the most traffic. You know what I mean?
That's definitely true. You advertise your haircuts a lot, and that's really good. I think every barber should do that. So if you want to start cutting hair, I think that should be very important. When you start doing those videos, did you think about them at first? Were you like, yo, I should record my haircuts, or were you just like, I'm gonna just record it to see how it progresses? What was your thought when you started recording? It's like, what made you want to do it?
Okay, so that's like not only to advertise myself, but also like for myself to look back on, you know, like you said, and see my progress. Not only that, but it was like a learning experience for me too. That's why, like, if you ask any barber for advice, they'll tell you to take pictures of your haircuts, just because the camera really shows you things that you can't really see with your eye, and so it's like it's easier to kind of spot those things out. You know what I mean? And so when I was first learning to cut hair, I spent a lot of time kind of just like analyzing those pictures and like also comparing them like to similar haircuts other barbers had done. You know what I mean? And just kind of seeing what I could do better.
And then obviously, I think the signs mean a lot when you do a haircut, and they can change a lot on the perspective of it. When did you start doing the signs? Like, my signs I got right here. Were you scared when you started doing them?
Oh yeah, most definitely.
Really?
That's like, yeah, that's probably like one of the most intimidating things when you're first learning is like a design. Just because, you know, if you mess it up, that's like the whole haircut down the drain right there.
You know how
It's like a make or break thing.
I have a story of when I was cutting Jesse's hair. When I was I'm not the best haircut, you know, but I remember I gave him a good taper. It was really good, like a low tape. And then I was like, Jesus, his name's Jesus. I was like, all right, I'm gonna give him a cross. It was the worst cross I ever drew. Like
Throughout the whole haircut.
And throughout the whole haircut.
Yes.
And I was really
That's what I'm saying. Like if you mess up the design, the whole haircut's down the drain.
Do you remember what was your first design that you made?
I think it was on Jesse too. I think it was a cross.
I thought it was Carlo.
Nah, I never get Carlo designed.
Oh, but yeah. Did you give him a cross?
Yeah, I think a cross was the first design I did. Just a little cross.
I think it's on. It was not bad though. It was not. Come on. It was the first time. Do I remember the first time that you gave me a design? Because I don't. I never had a design until you gave me one. I don't remember which one.
Was it probably the line?
Was it the line or was it the? I don't remember. I think it could have been the line. I was just like, you know what? Let's do it. But I don't know. I just thought it would look bad. But then I was working at Walmart and they were like, yo.
You've been getting them ever since.
But do you remember that story that I have with Walmart? So this man gave me a haircut, and I went to work the next day.
Oh yeah.
And it was so funny. The most random thing. I was just working, and I do like grocery online picks. So I basically go around Walmart and getting stuff. And this two ladies come up to me, and they're like, "Yo, I liked your haircut. Like, where'd you get it?" And this is like 8 in the morning, so I don't know how I figured it out, but I was just so happy. I was like, "Oh, my barber Eli, you know." And they're like, "My graduation's tomorrow. I need a haircut ASAP." And I just called them at 8 in the morning, and I was like, "Yo, I'm gonna send some people up to you, and then take care of them." And
Yeah, that was sick because she actually came through too. I remember that.
that's crazy. Do you remember what she got?
Yeah, she got it was like a mid fade with a design too.
So what did you? When she walked in, was she like, "Yo, is this Eli?" Or like, did you?
I think that's how it happened. Yeah, she like walked in and asked for me, and then I just happened to be available, so you know I took her.
Did you ask her like, "Yo, like, did you know Piero or something like that?" Like,
I think she was telling me like she just kind of like saw you.
That's
She
crazy.
asked about your haircut. That's kind
That's
of
crazy. That's some bold stuff. I don't think I'll be ever. I mean, maybe like if something happens, but I don't think I'll ever like walk up to somebody and be like, "Where'd you get it?" That's very bold. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. No, she was cool. She was cool.
See, so that's our kind of experiences that you have at the barbershop, but experiences are really important. Do you remember? Can you recall the first experience you had at the barbershop? Who was your first client?
I don't think I remember the first person I cut, but I remember cutting him. I just remember. I think I even told him like, "You're like the first person I'm cutting."
Oh my god, I would have been nervous. I would have been like, "Oh shoot." What did you? So you don't know what you gave him, right?
I don't remember now.
So how'd you feel when You had that person in your chair. What did it feel like?
It was cool because like that was something that I was thinking about, especially like when I first got there. I didn't have any appointments obviously, so I didn't know like when I was gonna do my first haircut. And so when the time came, I was ready. I wasn't really like feeling nervous, but maybe a little bit just because it was like a new environment. You know what I mean? So like, it took me a little bit.
The chair.
Not really the chair. I was happy with the chair because it was better.
Yeah,
still,
obviously.
but it was just cutting hair and like somewhere new. It was
The atmosphere.
yeah, exactly. It took a little bit of time to get used to.
What about the co-barbers, co-workers? Was it easy to be welcomed? Did they treat you right at the start? Did you feel like, is there something that new barbers should know? You know, if they get hired to a barbershop?
About like the people.
Yeah, like, is there something you should do to, you know, get them on the good side? Or is there something you shouldn't do to make sure that, you know, you're cool with them?
Just be cool, you know what I mean? Like it's not. In my experience, for the most part, barbers are pretty like they're pretty cool people. So, you know, everybody was real cool at the beginning. You know, I didn't really feel like out of place or nothing like that.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Did you know any of them before you got hired?
I knew Tommy.
Tom. Yeah, I think everybody knows Tommy.
Yeah.
But dang, man, what's it called? I do want to know, you know, in every place or everything, there's always unwritten rules that customers or people may not know. Is there any unwritten rules in the barber game?
Barbershop?
You know? Yeah.
I wouldn't really necessarily say like unwritten rules, but just like kind of pet peeves that a lot of us have. So for example, like if we're like cutting your hair, you're like checking the mirror every like 5 seconds. That gets annoying like really quick. Yeah. Or just like if we're cutting hair, and okay, so say that you're like cutting like a little kid's hair or something, and like their mom is like keep coming up and like just kind of basically telling you how to do your job. That's like,
Like,
I guess that gets annoying to everybody. You know what I mean?
I would just give them like.
Yeah, it's kind of like that too. It's like, do you want to just cut their hair? Because like, it's like disrespectful, honestly. That's the way I take it. It's like, it's disrespectful. Also, like getting up in the middle of the haircut, like to use the bathroom. It's like, come on, man. Like, you had all that time. You were waiting there. You could use the bathroom. You know what I mean?
So has that happened to you?
Yeah, that's happened a couple times. Yeah.
Most of the times, or just like
Just a couple, not too many.
you'd be like, damn, and they take long too. Like they need to go use the
Yeah, sometimes they do. Yeah. Or another one is like, say they're like, you're like just finishing up on a client and they're waiting there, and then they get in the chair and they still don't like really know what they want. It's like you
So
have all
like
that time to really sit and think about it. Like you know you're coming to the barbershop, you know what I mean, and then you don't even know what you want. It's like, come on.
Nah, that's me.
That's good.
If that was with you though, who cares? But I used to be like that too. But what I used to do when I was younger, I would tell the people like, what should I get? Yeah. And I'd be like, I don't know what to get, man. And then one day I just walk in and I was like, yo, face look cool. I'm gonna ask them if I can get one. I was like, I'm gonna do a fade. And they go, what fade?
What kind of fade?
And
Yeah.
I was like, that fade. I was like, I don't know. I just give me a fade. And you know, he thought I was normal, but he ended up giving me a fade. So that was pretty cool. What about unwritten rules between the barbers? Is there like, you know, what if someone walks in, both of you guys are open? Like, do you guys know which one's got in? Like,
Me personally, I don't really like it when other people go into my station. So I guess that's one of them. Especially like if I'm cutting and you're like right there in my space, you know what I mean? So I guess that could be one just kind of like.
think you're like, yo, same spot. Like,
Yeah.
okay. Makes sense. It makes sense.
That's about really it that I can think of.
I do want to know, like, something I always ask myself, like, I never obviously have to go through, but cancellation procedures, like, how do you feel when someone just cancels an appointment on you, like, last second, or something? Like, how do you feel?
So that's the reason why we take deposits. So I usually don't do it with my clients that I know are gonna show up, but like a lot of the times, because it's happened, where like they won't set the deposit and then they end up like not showing up and not saying anything, and so you know at that point you're kind of just screwed over because
that's the hour you serve.
Exactly. So when you have a deposit, it makes it a lot easier because you know you just keep their money pretty much. Like they scheduled the appointment,
So you
they signed up for that time, and there's no reason why they shouldn't be showing up. You know what I mean?
So you pay on the app, right? Is that what
Yeah.
So
you pay half of it.
half
before.
of it, and then when you come in, you pay the rest.
Yep.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't know that. Well, I don't have to deal with that because you trust me and I trust you. But that's crazy. I didn't know that. But yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was like, what if like one day somebody just cancels on you like last second? Like I'll be pissed.
Yeah, that's why you take a deposit.
What about when you were cutting at your house? Did that ever happen to you?
I think maybe a couple times. Yeah.
Were you pissed about it? Were you like, oh man, or were you like, understandable, like who cares?
It just kind of is what it is. You know what I mean? Like you could be upset about it, but the way I look at it, like there's not really a reason to.
Yeah.
Because you can't do anything about it.
That's
Yeah.
good. That's a good mentality to have, honestly. I would probably be pissed. No, I'm just kidding. But it depends what's in the time. No, that's what I wanted to know because I was like, man, like stuff like that is really important because you reserve your time by the block when you're working out over there, and I think that's very, very important. What do you think? I do want to know one thing. How do you guys do to rate the barbershops? I do want to know that. Is there tournaments that you guys can qualify to?
To rate the
Is there-
barbershops.
Yeah, like, how some barbers say like number one and surprise.
Oh, okay. So there is like they call them barber battles, and it's like a competition pretty much, where they have like certain categories, and you like sign up, you bring your client, and you just see whoever does the best haircut. Pretty much, that's how you win it.
Have you participated in one?
I haven't yet. I really want to.
Let's go.
Yeah.
I'll be your client for that.
Yeah. So that's definitely a future plan is to do a barber battle.
Do you have to have certain qualifications to go through the process, or you can just show up?
You just have to sign up. That's
Oh.
really it. Yeah. You sign up. You have to find a model. That's probably the hardest part. It's like.
Oh, they tell you how you gotta come?
Yeah, because like I said, there's like different categories, and so like one of them will be like a mid fade, or like a mid fade and beard.
Yeah, I'll be your model. No, but I mean, if it's not that bad, that's something you should take into it.
Yeah.
It can help you grow more globally. Do you want to be a more commercial barber? I don't know if that's how you say it, but do you want to pursue like into a? I don't know, do you want to cut for people that are wealthy? Do you want to cut for people that are popular, or is that something you have to work for? Or do you just want to work at a regular barbershop?
I've thought about that, and I think it would be cool to have like a couple opportunities to cut up like people like that. But that's definitely something you have to work for, just because it takes a lot of time to like get out there. You know what I mean? Like to really get your name out there, yeah, and like reach those people.
I just didn't know how to phrase it, but
Yeah.
you know what I mean. So.
But actually, I had a pretty cool opportunity. This was like back in, I want to say March, where me and my cousin we went to the Sun Stadium and we were cutting hair over there. Yeah, there was like a concert going on, and so like we got to cut up some of the people for the concert, like that were in the band.
Damn.
Yeah, and it was cool because like we pretty much just got treated like kings.
You're
Like,
like, oh.
we got there was like food catered, and we got like a whole tour of the Sun Stadium. That's pretty sick.
They gave you everything. No, I was like, that's
So
pretty cool.
that was cool, like just because like that opportunity was brought to me, like just because I picked up some clippers, you know what I mean? Like,
That's good. I mean, at the end of the day, we want to wish you the best, and we want you to have the best career in your life. We're here for you, And I'm glad you were part of my episode today.
yeah, no problem.
I hope I answered many questions that people wanted to know. I mean, I wouldn't want to become a barber. That's not my thing. But I know a lot of people would. So I hope this video helps you go through. I was okay phrasing some words with some sentences, but I'm not really the best when it comes to terminology for barber stuff. But I'm glad you were able to help me with that. And then once again, thank you for having me.
Yeah, man.
Of course.
Alright, this was episode, I don't know if episode 9, I think it was episode 9, I'm not sure. I think it's episode 9, so thank you guys for watching. Season 1 is ending after this episode, so great to have you guys.
I got on the season finale.
Yes, sir.
That was great. Nah, that was great.